Right friends, welcome back to 5th capsule of 35th week. We are going to discuss one important aspect of SCRAMJET, and before going into the details, two basic things in space technology please don't forget. One is rockets or launch vehicles. At present we are into PSLV series. Please look into this picture. These are the rockets, or you can say satellite launch vehicles. To place satellites into orbit, some launch vehicle is required. That launch vehicle is nothing but rocket. So, one side rockets, the other side satellites. Rockets will place satellites into orbit. So, PSLV is the present series. So, one side rockets or launch vehicles, the other side satellites. So, you should have clear differentiation between these two terms. So, PSLV series is example of rockets or launch vehicles, at the same time satellites. Satellites will be placed into the orbit by the rockets. And what are the different types of satellites? All of you are familiar with INSAT series or GSAT series. Basically these are for communication purposes. You are watching number of TV channels. How you are viewing these many TV channels? Because of number of satellites in the orbit. So, INSAT, GSAT, these are communication satellites. Then you will get the physical features of Earth through Earth observation satellites. So, Cartosat is example of Earth observation satellite. Then IRNSS, these are navigation satellites. 7 satellites were launched basically to locate the position. So far we are using GPS that belongs to United States of America. We will have our own navigation system shortly, that will be through this 7 navigation satellites. Then Chandrayaan, then Mars orbiter mission, all of you are well aware, these are for exploration of space. So, these are called exploration satellites. At the same time, some satellites were launched for some educational institutions like Satyabhama University, Engineering College in Pune. They are Satyabhama Sat and Swayam. So, these are various types of satellites, and all of you are familiar with these names. And let us look at what are the problems with the present rockets or launch vehicles. There are two problems. One problem is the present rockets are expendable. What is the meaning of this word expendable? The meaning of this word expendable is rockets can be used only once. That means if a rocket PSLV is taking some satellites into orbit, it cannot be reused. Only once they can be used. So that's why they are called expendable. This problem can be solved if rockets are made reusable, just like aircrafts. Aircraft is going from London to New York and coming back. Like that, if satellites are placed into orbit by the rockets, and if they can come back and again take some satellites, they are reusable rockets. So, the previous experiment of RLV TD is in this direction. Then second problem number 2 is, at present rockets are carrying not only fuel but also oxidizer for combustion to take place. Because of combustion only, rockets will have thrust, forward movement. For combustion to take place, it requires not only fuel but also oxidizer, and these two are known as propellants. So, propellant includes fuel as well as oxidizer. At present rockets are carrying both the fuel as well as oxidizer, and out of the propellant 70% is oxidizer. So, efficiency of rockets can be increased if atmospheric oxygen is taken while rocket is moving. Instead of carrying oxidizer, if atmospheric oxygen can be taken when the rocket is moving, that will increase the efficiency of rocket, and that will reduce the cost of launching satellites. So, these two are the problems. And so as to solve these two problems, the first experiment to solve problem number 1, that is RLV TD, was tested some time back, and now to solve problem number 2, SCRAMJET was tested. So, let us have a glance at the first experiment which was tested some time back. Reusable launch vehicle technology demonstrator. Basically, it is the technology which will lead to development of reusable rockets maybe 10 years, 15 years down the line. Ultimately, when the rockets are reused, then what will happen? It will reduce the cost of launching satellites. And once it becomes a reality, launch vehicles will come back to Earth after launching satellites. So, the experiment of RLV TD is the first step in this direction. So, once these experiments will become reality, then we will have launch vehicles which are reusable, then the cost of launching satellites will come down. So, this we learned previously about RLV TD experiment. Let us come back to the second problem. This is to solve problem number 2, and this is the present experiment of a SCRAMJET engine. And before going into the details, let us have the facts. This is SCRAMJET engine. SCRAMJET means supersonic combustion ramjet engine test, and it was tested at Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. And this is basically to test air breathing propulsion system, and this advanced technology vehicle flied at Mach 6. And what is Mach number? Mach number is related to the speed of the vehicle in comparison to speed of sound. If the speed of vehicle is more than speed of sound, then that is categorized as supersonic speed. And if the speed of the vehicle is less than speed of sound, then it is categorized as subsonic speed. Subsonic speeds are the speeds of the vehicles which are less than the speed of sound. Supersonic means the speeds of vehicles which are more than the speed of sound. So, for subsonic, Mach number is less than 1. For supersonic, Mach number is more than 1. And if Mach number is more than 5, then another classification is there. It is hypersonic. So, you can say hypersonic is a subcategory of supersonic. When the Mach number is more than 5, it is called hypersonic. Hypersonic is some subcategory of supersonic speeds, right? So, this is all about supersonic, and let us come to the present experiment. As I have already told you, to solve problem number 2, the rocket should carry only fuel, and oxidizer should be taken from the surrounding atmosphere during the atmospheric phase of the rocket. During atmospheric phase, the rocket will take atmospheric air, and the oxygen available in atmospheric air will use as oxidizer. So, it need not carry liquid oxygen. The oxygen in the atmospheric air will act as the oxidizer. So, here fuel will be carried, but oxidizer, that is oxygen, will be taken from the atmospheric air in the surrounding. So, the name given to it is air breathing propulsion system. That means air is taken from the surrounding atmosphere. That's why the name given is air breathing propulsion system. So, this technology was tested recently, and the name is SCRAMJET engine test. SCRAMJET engine means supersonic combustion ramjet engine. In ramjet engines, combustion or burning of fuel with the help of oxidizer. Please don't forget, combustion means burning of fuel with the help of oxidizer. And ramjet engines are effective only up to Mach number 4. If Mach number exceeds 4, then ramjet engine's efficiency will come down. That's why now this SCRAMJET engine is tested. SCRAMJET means supersonic combustion ramjet. That means here combustion is taking place at hypersonic speeds of Mach number more than 5. The recent experiment was done at Mach number 6. So, you can say this is supersonic combustion ramjet engine, right? So, here the challenges faced by ISRO include design and development of hypersonic engine air intake. Second one is ignition of air breathing system at high speeds. then fuel injection system, and at the same time holding the flame at hypersonic speed. These are the challenges faced by ISRO, and you may ask, what are the benefits once it becomes a reality? Once it becomes a reality, it will reduce the lift-off mass of the rockets or vehicles, as there is a reduction in the liquefied oxygen to be carried. Efficiency of rocket will increase and less rotating parts. That's why chances of failure will be reduced, and reusable launch vehicles along with the scramjet engines will reduce the cost of satellites to almost 10% of what it is today. If today it is costing 1 crore rupees, it may cost only 10 lakh rupees once this reusable launch vehicle technology and scramjet becomes a reality. Maybe 10 years, 15 years down the line, these two technologies may become reality. So, the two experiments, RLV TD experiment, which was conducted a few months ago, along with the scramjet engine experiment, which was conducted recently, will ultimately benefit the entire nation as a whole, because the cost of launching satellites will come down drastically. Right friends, with this I hope you are clear about reusable launch vehicle TD as well as the scramjet engine. Right friends, have a nice day. Thank you.